Hello, I'm Svitek, 360 Creative Coach, and while normally I teach lessons, this video is my vlog. And the reason I'm doing it is not to be self-centered, but to use it as a means to illustrate my creative journey and to parse out the various lessons in my life, and if nothing else, also kind of humanize the creative process and all these various lessons that I have been teaching and how I'm applying those lessons in my own life. So number one, the big project that I've been working on is editing the feature film that I shot. I've got about 12 and a half minutes of it already edited. Now, when I say 12 and a half minutes, it's rough production sound, temp music, and so forth, and the graphics are very temp in the sense of, you know, they basically highlight an idea of what's supposed to be there, but they will need to be created. And that's fine, because you can't revise something if something's not there. And so I know there's problems with those 12 and a half minutes, but my goal right now is to just rush through as fast as I can. And when I say rush, I don't mean like just blindly just spit something out. I'm still taking time to pick out the right visual shots. So my primary goal is the edits and figure out, okay, how should the scenes flow, and get to the end of the movie and just see what the hell I've actually shot, because then I know I can revise it. And so far, it's been good. And you know, in watching those 12 and a half minutes, I'm very proud, and it's actually going pretty smooth in terms of the process. I don't have a lot of takes to work with to begin with because I didn't shoot a lot, but that's not a bad thing, because the takes that I do have, I knew exactly what I was wanting to shoot, and I knew what I needed to get, and so I don't need many takes if I know that I have what I need. And that's the fun part about it. So I'm going through these various things, and it's actually a lot of fun, and connecting the various shots and making it work. So it's been a lot of fun. And you know, one of the things that they teach you as a filmmaker is that you essentially do 3 rewrites. You write the script, so that's one version of writing it. Then when you shoot it, that's essentially a second rewrite, because what you shoot is not necessarily what you intended in terms of the script. And I'm not saying that as a negative, because it evolves, right? So all these stages, it evolves. And then the third one is when the movie you edit. And the movie I'm editing now, I'm realizing there's a lot of things that creatively I can add to it, and so that I didn't foresee in terms of the script. And so I'm able to do that, and I'm excited. And that's why, hence the temp graphics that come in, I'm just kind of throwing down ideas of, you know, hey, put this in, and when the time comes, I'll be able to make it. And it's not that it's going to be a lot of work, but I think it adds something unique. And what I mean by this, so there's certain moments when things are happening that I want to, like, if you've ever seen Scott Pilgrim, I want to juxtapose it with internal thoughts in terms of what's happening in my movie. And the reason I reference Scott Pilgrim is because they have a very cool visual style of throwing out certain ideas through graphics. And I want to do that so I can juxtapose it. And, you know, I think if nothing else, this is my first feature, and I want to take I'm already taking a big swing, but just by making it, and certainly by making it for not the world's cheapest budget, but you know, $2,000 is not a lot of money, certainly for a feature. And so I wanna take a swing, and so I want to be as visually inventive as I can, and now I'm seeing other components that I can do that with. And even in, you know, certain music, like I'm placing in temp music that I'll never be able to use because of rights and so forth. But in doing that, you know, I can kind of place in various motifs and start to see certain rhythms and patterns that I didn't necessarily anticipate. And so that's been fun in terms of the process. As far as everything else in my life, I'm continuing to revise my book, and that's been a process that's more on the editor's side than my own, but I'm seeing the revisions that she's making and she's seeing, so I continue to learn. You know, writing is not my first medium, but I do love it, as far as, like, I do love to read books, but as far as me creating something, it's one of the more challenging things that I could be doing, but I do appreciate it. And so I love seeing, she always redlines, and I'm able to see the changes that she makes. So I see the thought process in terms of why she made the choices that she made. She makes my writing ultimately better. And again, it's in spirit of what's there. So it's been cool to be part of that process. And beyond that, I'm getting to spend some time with friends. It is the holiday season, so I think it's very important to be able to do that. It's kind of a weird thing, like you want to spend time with your friends, but there's also like the rush of getting all the holiday stuff done, as things close, like everyone's trying to wrap out business for 2019 before, it's funny to say, like the next decade. Anyway, so it's kind of everything's very heightened of like, we got to go, go, go. But I'm lucky enough where it's not really that overwhelming, and it's manageable, and I'm able to do both. And the kind of a few things that have kind of gone by the wayside a little bit. I'm not reading as much as I'd like, but that's okay. I'll get back to it. And I haven't seen as many movies as I probably normally would, but that's okay too. That will come. So there's ebbs and flows in all of this, and you got to prioritize based on where you're at. I think people think that priorities are always like 1, 2, 3, and 4. No, priorities are always fluid. It just depends on the day, the week, and even the time of day. I think like, when I'm in a recording session, let's say, that is the main priority in that particular moment. And so I have to be present for that. And then when I'm done with that and I have the ability to edit my movie, well, then that's the most important thing. When I'm walking my dogs, that becomes the most important thing. So, don't be so rigid. I think people make priorities very rigid when in fact, they rotate and so forth. So anyway, that's kind of the stuff that's been on my mind. I hope you find it beneficial. By all means, if there's any questions or thoughts or things you want me to talk about in future, let me know, and I'd be happy to do that for you. Anyway, I'm at Svitek on social media, and happy holidays, and hope to see you soon. Bye.